shit. Here we go. Shut up. Yeah, this is Future's new EP. Save me. Save me, please. Now, originally, my first thought going and looking at this project was it's another Future record. Nothing really to it. But over the last few hours, I've been looking at the cover art, and it's been very reminiscent of some major emo albums. Two albums specifically that made an impression on me when I was growing up that the cover art of this project does remind me of is the used In Love and Death and Rites of Spring, End on End, which reminded me again of just how far rap and hip-hop have come when it comes to expressing the vulnerability of an artist and how many emo tropes have been used within hip-hop and rap music in the last decade. Rappers have been emulating emo in their music in a way to give their music a lot more of an expression, a lot more vulnerability, and that to me is exactly what this cover art embodies. Now, I hate going into music, looking at the cover art, trying to see if that's going to be an indication of how the project is going to be, but I mean, this looks pretty telling, and the fucking name is Save Me. Future for a long time has really just been known as this rapper who's been able to exist as a very superficial, very outside, external, very cliche artist that doesn't really express that many sides. I think the closest indication of a softer side of Future that we got was the Hendrix album that came out back in 2017, which allowed viewers and listeners to look at Future in a different light. But it was still more of the same, you know, objectification of women, all that stuff that we, you know, already love Future for. You know, I want to be toxic while listening to Future, so I don't mind that stuff. But it doesn't really let me into who he is exactly, and this might be the project that might give me that. So without further ado, I know we've been talking a little bit too much, and this is way too introspective of an idea to go into when trying to listen to a Future project, but I'm hoping that I'm right. I want to hear him cry in codeine on this project. I want to hear him puke up all the Xans and all the lean he's been drinking over the past 10 years. First track is called Xanax Damage. Do it.
Xanax doing damage, make it nice so I can handle you.
That voice isn't exactly what I meant.
I just need to confess to you.
Confess to who? Oh my god, that drop was fucking insane. Okay, so first track was very telling of the EP. I feel kind of woozy. Felt like, you know, Future was the captain of a ship and the liquid in the ocean was lean instead of water. He says that he's only seeing this person when he's depressed and high. Maybe he's talking to the drugs. It does say Xanax Damage. It's a very captivating instrumental. I don't really know about that vocal pattern that he was trying. The pitch was a little awkward, but you know, maybe it'll grow on me.
I'm a beat down.
This might bang with headphones on, I'm not gonna lie.
I need shit in. I made my money without fuck fans. She should've never got this close with me. I talk to the pastor, find out he doing the same thing. Been having a secret like
I don't really know how to feel about that track. It's cool. Felt like it was going somewhere in the beginning. Instrumentally, it just followed a pattern and didn't really take me anywhere further than that. I mean, it's nothing more than what he's been saying, I guess. And the save me subject matter, I guess, here is kind of, at least in my opinion, alluding to the idea that he's been talking about this stuff, but maybe contextually he just now had to put it into this format to get people to notice that he's been saying save me for years. Because this song, I feel like he's made it at least 3 or 4 times already. Track number 3 is Please Tell Me. Tell me that there's more to this project than that last track. Please tell me. Okay, this might be hot. Please don't do no generic bass drop right now, okay? Just keep this melody.
Please tell me I can throw this snow up so I ain't got no time. If you play your cards, you gon' be fine. Hold me down.
Boil you down? What the fuck are you into, Future?
It's one of a kind, baby.
Are you paying for an escort? Yeah, I mean, I'm slowly dying. It's not like I don't like this track, because it's alright. It's just, you know, it's it's basically a track where he's like trying to make himself feel good for paying for an escort almost. And I know that's not what he said, but like that's all I can picture when I hear this song is like please tell me I can buy you these things in exchange for you just shutting the fuck up and doing what I say, because you're not used to this lifestyle. It's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this, which is, I mean, I guess okay if she's cool with it. Maybe he's asking for you to save him from this lifestyle. I mean, save me from this track. Track number 4 is Shotgun.
You got good energy like a fiver. Shotgun, shotgun. Your purse too full, got you drop some.
He's vocalizing in phoneme. If you got a spare shotgun lying around, take me out right now. This dude fucking sucks. I'm a big Future fan, okay? I love Future, really. Like low key but high key at the same time. And I know people are gonna say, oh, you went into a negative. I literally was trying to give this man nothing but the benefit of the doubt before I came into this project. And they all just sound like bonus tracks from Hendrix. Yeah, the dude's just an awkward singer. It's just like so unnecessarily over dramatic. I mean, I'd rather him, you know, just make a track talking to some woman saying, will you be my bitch, the whole time. Track number 5 is Government Official. It's got a nice eerie vibe to it. I like that.
I just went out to Morocco to do some recruiting. Yeah. In a bando to a jewelry store, what I do. When the Lagos, Nigeria, traveling coast to coast. She talking British when they can't understand, but I feel it.
Did this man just say she talking British? He couldn't understand? Future has the nerve to say he couldn't understand what someone was saying? Or maybe he's just trying to say that he's too high to hear where she's coming from. Maybe that's what he means.
I feed them racks to you like a monster, that's food. Yeah, yeah. So like a sponsor,
yeah, man. Nah. I mean, these are like, that's a standard Future track for me. It's about at the level of entertainment that I think he could deliver on most tracks. So I don't think it's a bad track. I don't think it's anything outstanding. It's just kind of what I would regularly get from Future. Track number 6 is Extra. Take this sound somewhere, please. You know you can.
That's all right. Last year got figures. Made a couple bags, my bag got bigger.
Yeah.
All my whips got extras now. Got the water again. This bitch is calling me Aquaman. Been on since you got with him.
Is he talking about Sierra? Yo, I'm sweating. Yeah. Yeah, I like that vocal sample. I don't know if it's actually a vocal sample. It might be like just a fresh, you know, uncredited feature or something, but I'm pretty sure it's a vocal sample. Playing in the background while he's kind of harmonizing and kind of giving his very well mixed verse here, and nothing that's, you know, too dramatic. It's kind of very low key, and it sets the tone for a very enchanting kind of experience sonically. You adapt to its rhythm while listening to it, and this might be one of the first, you know, examples of a track where Future, at least relationship wise, gets introspective into something that's actually caused him stress and or depression that would, you know, require him need an extra pill or an extra coupling or an extra Xanny or something like that. I feel like extra isn't just a way to describe, okay, I know I can be over the top sometimes, but it's also a way to describe, okay, now that I'm undergoing this stress and this depression, I need an extra pill or I need an extra set of drugs more than what I would normally get in order to cope with whatever I'm dealing with emotionally. I like how it's represented on this track because it's so woozy, man. And track number 7 is Love Thy Enemies. This sound makes more sense. This is what you need to be on. This is the type of energy I need. I don't know about these vocals, but I'm still fucking with it.
They wanna take my soul.
Oh wait, no, Jesus Christ, he's really hitting my soul. Saying save my flesh, they want to take my soul. It really describes Future's walk with, you know, his standing in the industry right now. And kind of like, you know, as usual, the lack of fulfillment that your soul receives. But he mentions at one point in this project or one point in this song to save his flesh. If I'm referencing that to the previous bar or the previous line where he says they want to take his soul, I would assume that whatever this is, this thing that he feels possessed by, wants his physical body, but can be rid of his soul. And I guess if Future's aware of that, he needs this angel or this solace to keep him whole, to keep him, I guess, untainted. I really like the strings here. I really wish he would have gone with a different vocal pattern for this track, because honestly, I mean, I just feel like that just kind of takes me out of the song a bit, even though it does feel like a hollified version of a soul speaking like outside of its body, watching the actual physical body walk around, and there's like nothing he can do. It's like he's watching himself in third person do some shit that he doesn't agree with, but he can't actually stop it. And these echoed voices that we hear are kind of like, you know, him being so far removed from his reality. But in all honesty, this track, along with the previous track, you know, the track before it and the initial track, to me are kind of the embodiment of what I felt this EP should have been, you know, all the way through. Not to say that, you know, we need R&B Future, or I need him to be talking about a relationship for it to be decent, but at least if it's going to be something that is a little bit more, I don't know, telling of the album cover art, or telling of, you know, the Save Me idea, I would expect, you know, the middle portion of this project to be a little bit more consistent with the ending and opening track. I get, if we're gonna reference the entire thing, it makes sense for him to have this stage in the very beginning where he's acknowledging or personifying, I guess you would say, the drugs as if they were a person, or maybe he actually is talking about a woman, and then we get the transition from him just going from woman to woman in each of these tracks, buying women off, feeling like his status and his money is what's going to keep them around, what's going to give him some solace. And then we get to the ending tracks where he realized none of that was actually true. Then the last track where he realizes that he was never really aware of how toxic he was being the whole time. If I were to assume that this is like some kind of idea here, it's like Future is personified the drug. In the very beginning, he takes the drug, he does this dumb shit, and then by the end of the album, by the end of the EP, he gets to the idea that he was possessed by this thing. He was taking control of this thing, was, you know, living as a host in his body. So in that regard, I do enjoy it, but as far as the songs themselves, at least that middle portion, I think those are just some of the weakest Future tracks I've heard recently. He pretty much just fills up the middle portion with a bunch of generic songs that he's already made in the past, and doesn't fill it up with any kind of new content, any new surprising material, or any refreshing instrumentals for us to listen to, at least to transition into the later part of the more interesting production on this project. There are some really odd lyrics here, but none that make me want to turn off the album. So at least from a lyrical standpoint, he's about where I thought he should be. But on the end of this EP, he actually does get a little bit more introspective than I thought he would in describing how he feels in watching himself do things that he knows are bad anyway. I think as far as his career choice, this EP kind of does open the door for him to conceptually do something above and beyond what he's delivered before. But as far as the musicality of this project and just expressing Future in any kind of new way outside of a few tracks on this EP, I don't really think it accomplishes that goal. Without the idea of this EP, a bunch of people could probably mistake it for extras from his Hendrix album. I do enjoy what Future was trying to do with this project. It's just from track 2 to track, I think 5, it's just way too much of what we've already gotten from Future. I think the idea, if this is trying to be one, could have been delivered in 1 or 2 tracks, and then we could have gotten some more introspective Future over some more spacier, more enchanting production with him doing this crazy weird shit with his vocals. I don't actually mind that. I don't know if I like it, but I know I don't mind it. Future Save Me EP. Thank you for watching. Let me know what your favorite tracks were in the comment section down below if you enjoyed any of them, and I'll see y'all next time. You know, I'm gonna definitely be bumping at least 3 of these things though. That's for sure. I'm back on my bullshit.